this isn't the same country as it was 48 years ago. Are we capable of tweaking Obamacare?
I think it'll have to be done on a state-by-state basis where you have innovative governors and legislators who are willing to look beyond ideology and try to do what's best for their citizens.
You know, I like to think that Obama ushered in a progressive wave and that we would see a return to bigger government. I don't think the end has come yet for Reaganomics. I think it's just begun. I think this federalism, the return to the states, is exactly what Reagan and Boehner and the Republicans wanted, and that's just beginning. I think, unfortunately, we're seeing a second phase of right-wing politics.
How far can that pendulum swing, though?
Well, they've strangled the beast. They've created paralysis in Washington, D.C., and now it's up to the states. That's exactly what the Republicans wanted, and that's what we're seeing now.
And the Supreme Court just ruled that way, too.
Yeah.
With the marriage equality.
For a couple of years, I was saying that Obama was ushering in this new wave of progressive big government politics, but I think the Koch brothers and ALEC are succeeding locally, and that's where we have to fight them now. And the fact that we have to fight them in the trenches, in the states, and Thomas Friedman in the New York Times wrote that the big job now is to be mayor. That's where all the fresh new ideas are coming. The fact that you really have to get down and dirty is the triumph of Reaganomics, and we're losing. We really are losing. They've got more money, they've got more power, and the fact that we can see virtue now in states' rights is pretty scary.
Well, and by the way, the Koch brothers specifically have a strategy that very much takes stock of that. As you know, they've turned from federal. Obviously, they're very, very active in their lobbying at the federal level, but they're really getting that grid down to dog catcher type level. They are pursuing local elections that you would think would be well below the altitude of the kind of thing that they concern themselves with. But quite the contrary. They're anticipating exactly what you're saying, so that they are working on every level and on a granular level. They are active, and their money is very much in play. So it is a battle, I think, even at the most local levels.
But why are people buying into it?
Because it's a lot of it. So much attention has to be paid to this stuff. Americans can barely.
It's hard to understand.
You have to understand it, and one of their agendas is to undereducate.
Sure.
I mean, our whole education system is not bringing people up to the level that they actually have any critical thinking.
And I would even go even further. Even if we did have an educated mass, a lot of our districts are so badly gerrymandered that we can't get what we want anyway. And I would say in California, in 2012, we finally had a Democratic legislature, House and Senate, and then and Governor Brown. But we had and we passed this single-payer bill. It failed by 2 votes, and 6 Democrats either voted no or abstained. So it's not always Republicans that do that. And when Schwarzenegger was in power, they gave him safe cover because they knew he would veto it. But when push came to shove, these guys were all beholden to the private insurance industry. And that's where it gets back to it. We don't necessarily have Democrats and Republicans. We have corporatists. And
right.
That's the real sad part of this.